Good morning. If you remember in last video, I discussed about different internal parts of testes. In the last video, I explained you testes. So that is the main primary sex organ which is located outside the abdominal cavity, and it is surrounded by the pouch which is called scrotum. And what are the different parts inside the testes? Like for example, there are lobules are there inside the testes, and each lobule you can find out seminiferous tubules are there. Seminiferous tubules, they are producing the sperm. So all those parts I have explained you in last video. So today we will start from the next part. So that is epididymis. Epididymis, vas deferentia, ejaculatory duct, urethra, and the penis. These are all accessory parts of male reproductive system. So we will start with epididymis. Epididymis, here you see the diagram. This is testis and this coiled tube, so that is called epididymis. Because you know that from each seminiferous tubule small tubes are arising, and these small tubes they are making a network-like structure which is called retitestis. Then again from the retitestis you can find out straight tubes are arising which are called vas efferentia. So I hope all of you remember. Then the vas efferentia, these are connected together or joining to make one single tube which is making the epididymis. So the epididymis, so that is a long coiled tube, and it is a cap-like structure on the top of the testis. So that is present on the interior part of the testis, not outside. You can find out, now this is actually located inside part of the male reproductive system. Then the epididymis, it is divided into three parts. The upper part which is broad, so that is called caput epididymis, and the middle part is called corpus epididymis. The lower part, that is called cauda epididymis. Cauda epididymis, so that is connected to vas deferentia or sperm duct. What is the function of epididymis? Epididymis, it can store sperms for 18 to 24 hours. Because sperms are produced by testes, then with the help of the vas efferentia, they are entering into epididymis. So the epididymis, so that is a place actually where the sperms they can be stored for 18 to 24 hours. Then the next part, so that is vas deferentia. Now you see from the lower part of the epididymis, which is cauda epididymis, there is a straight tube is arising, and that straight tube is called vas deferentia or sperm duct. So this part, that is outside the abdominal cavity, but this duct, that is again entering into the abdominal cavity. I have told you in the last video also, I have explained that the abdomen and the testis, that is connected with the help of the small opening which is called inguinal canal. So the sperm duct which is emerging from epididymis, that is again entering inside the body or the abdominal cavity with the help of small opening which is called inguinal canal. Then it moves over the urinary bladder, because this is the urinary bladder where urine can be stored, and it is present in lower part of the pelvic. So it makes a loop around the urinary bladder, and then it is connected to another duct which is called seminal vesicle. Alright, so here you see the sperm duct or vas deferens, that is connected to the seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle is a gland. Then this is one tube, and the seminal vesicle, it is also having a small tube. Then both these tubes they are connecting together to make one single tube which is called ejaculatory duct. So this single tube is called ejaculatory duct, and the ejaculatory duct is actually formed by the fusion of the small tube which is developing from seminal vesicle and sperm duct. So ultimately this ejaculatory duct, so that is opening into urethra. What is the function of ejaculatory duct? Ejaculatory duct can carry sperm and the fluid which is secreted by seminal vesicle, because seminal vesicle, that is a gland which can make the alkaline fluid which is called semen. So this duct which is opening into urethra, it can carry sperm as well as the fluid, the alkaline fluid which is secreted by seminal vesicle. Then the next part, so that is urethra. This long tube, so that is called urethra, and here also you see there is another gland The gland is called prostate gland. Then at the base of the prostate gland there is another gland which is called vulvourethral gland or Cowper's gland. So altogether you can find out there are 3 glands are there. This is a pair of gland which is called seminal vesicle. Then the second one, so that is the prostate gland. This is one single gland which is surrounding the tube which is called urethra. Then at the base of the prostate gland there is another gland which is called Cowper's gland. So all these 3 glands together they can make the semen. Semen is an alkaline fluid which is having sperm. Now surrounding the urethra, so that is a tube which can carry urine as well as the semen. Because in the male you can find out there is a common passage for the release of the urine and the sperm. And it is surrounded by the muscles or the tissue, and it is making the copulatory organ which is called penis. The tip of the penis, so that is enlarged, and this part is called glans penis, which is richly supplied with blood capillaries or blood, and it is covered by the loose skin which is called foreskin. So these are all the accessory part. So once again in summary I am telling you, from testes the tube which is arising, that is a coil tube, and it is making a cap-like structure on the tip of the testes which is called epididymis. Epididymis can store sperm. Then a single tube is arising which is called sperm duct or vas deferens. It is making a loop over the urinary bladder and connected to seminal vesicle. Then there is formation of one common duct which is called ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct is opening into the tube which is called urethra. At the tip of the urethra there is one single gland which is called prostate gland. At the base of the prostate gland there is another small gland which is called vulvourethral gland. Then the long passage or the tube, so that is called urethra, and the urethra, so that is opening at the tip of the penis, and the tip portion which is enlarged, that is called glans penis, and the penis that is opening outside by the aperture which is called urinogenital aperture. So this is a common passage for urine and semen. So now I will discuss about different types of glands. I told you glands they can produce an alkaline fluid, and this alkaline fluid that is called semen. There are 3 different types of glands. One is seminal vesicle, second is prostate gland, third is Cowper's gland. And in the diagram already I explained you what is the position of seminal vesicle, prostate gland and Cowper's gland. Seminal vesicle, that is a gland, that is a pair of gland. You can find out there are 2 in number, one pair. And this gland can produce a alkaline fluid. The alkaline fluid that is rich in fructose. There is one hormone is there which is called prostaglandin, and also you can find out there is a clotting factor. This clotting factor or the protein that is different from the clotting factor which is there in blood. What is the function of fructose? Fructose, so that is producing energy to sperms, because you know that sperms they swim in semen. So for the swimming activity the energy that is produced by fructose. Then prostaglandin, that is a hormone. It can make the uterine contraction. When the sperm is entering into the vagina or into the uterus, then the neck of the uterus will contract so that the sperm it can enter into oviduct. And also it is helping the sperm to move to oviduct, because ultimately in the female body the sperm from the vagina it is entering into the cervix, from the cervix it is entering into uterus, from the uterus it is going to oviduct. So these 2 are the function of prostaglandin. And the clotting factor, so that is when the semen that is discharged outside the body of the male organ, then the semen will clot when it comes outside the body. So that is the function of the clotting factor. And the fluid which is produced by seminal vesicle, that is making 60% of semen. Then below the seminal vesicle there is one single gland. This is a pair of gland, this is one single gland which is called prostate gland. Prostate gland it makes 25% of semen. And this is also alkaline fluid. Here you can find out, sorry, this is not alkaline. Here you can find out the acid is there. So that is citric acid, and some enzymes they are also present, and also the hormone prostaglandin, so that is present. So what is the function? The function is to provide nourishment to sperm and also act activate the sperm so that the sperm can move into the female reproductive tract. Then the last gland, Copper's gland. Copper gland, so that is very small. It is also connected to the urethra, and here you see it is also one pair of the gland. So with the help of the small tube, it is connected to urethra. And the fluid which is produced by the Copper's gland, it contains mucus. So what is the role of the mucus? Mucus lubricates the copulatory organ. So altogether you can find out, now all these three glands, they can produce the fluid, the alkaline fluid, and the alkaline fluid, that is called semen or seminal plasma. Seminal plasma, that is rich in fructose and calcium. Some of the enzymes here are also present, and the monoprostaglandins, that is also present. So now I will explain about female reproductive system. Female reproductive system, it consists of ovary. Ovary is the primary female sex organ. Ovary can produce female gamete. As testes can produce a male gamete, ovary can produce female gamete, and also female sex hormone which is called progesterone or estrogen. As in the male, there is a formation of the male gamete which is produced by testes, and it is responsible for the development of secondary sexual character. Similarly, in female also you can find out the female hormones, they are two in number. One is the progesterone, another is the estrogen. They are also responsible for the development of secondary sexual character or all the morphological character you can see when a female child is developing into an adult. Then the ovary, you can find out the ovary is also one pair. So that means two in number, and it is also present in the lower part of the abdomen pelvic cavity. Ovary, so that is almond shaped, and it is connected to the wall of the abdomen with the help of the peritoneum which is called mesothelium, and also it is connected to the wall of the uterus with the help of the ligaments, so that is called ovarian ligament. So ovary, which is a small structure, so how it is situated in its own place, so that is with the help of the mesothelium and ovarian ligament. Then connected to the ovary, you can find out there is a tube, so that tube is called oviduct. So this tube is actually oviduct. When ovary produces ova, then the ova is taken by oviduct, because there is requirement of entry of the ova inside the oviduct. So the tip portion of the oviduct, that is funnel shaped, and it is called infundibulum. At the tip of the infundibulum, there are finger-like projections are there, which are called fimbriae. What is the function of fimbriae? Fimbriae can catch ova. When ova is released from ovary, then the fimbriae, so that is catching ovum, and the ovum is entering into oviduct. Then the anterior broad part of the oviduct, that is called ampulla, and the part which is behind ampulla, that is called isthmus. So this is the place in between ampulla and the isthmus. You can find out where the fertilization process is occurring. The male and female gamete, they can fuse together if both are present in this part. If they are present in any other part of the female reproductive system, then fertilization is not possible. So it is only possible if the male gamete and the female gamete, ovum and the sperm, they are present only in this part, which is called ampulla isthmus junction. Then inside the oviduct you can find out ciliated epithelium is there, because epithelium, that is the outermost lining or the boundary of any organ. So here why ciliated epithelium is there? Because the cilia is beating and it is helping ovum to move forward in the oviduct. So gradually you can find out with the help of the cilia, ovum is moving in this tube. Then this part of the oviduct, that is dome shaped, it is called fundus. And here the oviduct, that is opening into uterus. This is uterus. So uterus, that is a inverted pear-shaped organ. It is a hollow and the muscular organ, inverted in the shape of the pear, that is called uterus. Complete development of the baby or the fetus is taking place here inside the uterus. Okay. So the uterus, that is a muscular organ, you can find out there are three pairs are there. The outermost layer is called perimetrium. The second layer is called the perimetrium, that is thin. Then the second layer, that is muscular, it is called myometrium. And the inner layer is very thick and the cushion like, that is called endometrium. So in the process of the implantation, the fetus, that is actually connected to the endometrium. Now the lower part of the uterus, that is called neck or cervix. Again the lower part, that is narrow, and the cervix is opening into another tube which is called vagina. The female reproductive system, that is opening outside the body with the help of the small opening which is called vaginal orifice. And in case of the virgin female, this opening, that is closed by a membrane which is called hymen. So in summary, once again I am explaining. There is one pair of ovary, they are almond shaped. Ovary is connected to the wall of the abdomen, also to the uterus with the help of the ligaments. Ovary is connected to the tube which is called oviduct. Oviduct, the tip part is called infundibulum, which is funnel shaped. Then the next part is ampulla, the next part is the isthmus. It is opening into the hollow muscular organ which is called uterus. Inside the uterus, the fetus is developing. There are three layers of the uterus wall: peri, myo and endometrium. The lower part, which is narrow, is called the neck or cervix, which is opening into the vagina. Vagina is opening outside with the help of the opening which is called vaginal